Hello, the product I will share here doesn't have a name yet. The working version is Checkout Behavior Analytics, or CBA. During this month, I've been exploring the AI development tools. This product was built using combined effort of Claude, Code, and Codex, where both tools complemented each other and reviewed each other's work. This product should help us solve the problem of tracking customers' behavior at the checkout flow. What we see here is Sandbox, a test shop that I created to implement CBA. And to a large degree, it simulates the real online shop. It sells backpacks, and customers can select the best backpack depending on what they need right now. And by the way, all the backpacks that we will be seeing here are also built using AI, and I used Leonardo and DALE models. So the customer opens the landing page, then they navigate to search in order to see all the backpacks that we're selling today, and they select the one that they like the most. For example, I select this one here, and that's the details page. And then if they want to start the checkout, they can click on this button here. We show them the login step. We ask them to log in. This page is purely for cosmetic purposes. We don't record any data, we don't collect anything, so it is just to be here in the flow. Then I'll click on continue, and then the personal information step. At this step, we ask the customer to provide some details about them. So it has the drop down lists, it has text fields, the tooltips, tabs, accordions, and Trustpilot section, sidebar, and of course the precious CTA button. Once the customer covers the login step and lands here, the system creates a session, and this session is going to record all the actions of the customer: where they click, where they move their mouse, how deep they scroll, etc. And this session can have three states. The first state is when they complete all the mandatory fields, and then they click on the CTA button, and then they move to the next step. The session is going to be recorded as completed. The second state is dropped off. If I stay here at this step and I do not do anything for X amount of time, and this X is configurable, now it is configured to 10 seconds, just for this demo purposes, but eventually we can configure it to 24 hours, etc. So if I stay here, do not do anything, do not move my mouse, do not scroll, do not click, and after 10 seconds, the session is going to be recorded as abandoned. Or if I leave using this external link or close the browser tab or the browser window, all that is going to be considered as a drop-off event. And if I do not return within X amount of time, the session is going to be recorded as a drop-off. And the third state is in progress, because we don't know yet if the customer is going to drop off or they will complete the step. During the session, as I mentioned, all the actions of the customer are going to be recorded. And of course, our main focus is the drop-off sessions, but we're recording the actions for both sessions. And then, as we will see later, the two sessions will be compared against each other. Let me show you one more screen. So it is the dashboard. In this section here, we can configure what data we record for which step. And I will select personal information only for now. Then customers' actions as of today will be recorded. Then this is the drop-off time frame. It is set to 10 seconds. What we want to record, so whether they interact with the CTA button, with the navigation, etc. And the event types, clicks, mouse moves, etc. And the sampling rate. So here we're setting it to 100%, means that all sessions will be recorded, but we can also select 50. For example, it will be like recording every other session. I will save the changes. The heat map, it shows us what the heat map is going to be displaying to the user, but we will get to it in a minute. So in order for us to start the real flow, I will first clear the data that we have right now. I will click on this button here and I will confirm, and I will open the database and I will run the query to see that the database is empty right now. So let me start the journey. I will go to the landing page, then to search, then to details of a particular backpack, and I will start checkout, and I will enter name and password. I will continue. So here the session is created, and let me do some actions here. So I will click here, I'll click on the personal information, it's the name of the step. I will click on the drop down list. So I've been clicking once at these places, but now here I'll click 5 times, and here I will click 10 times. So I'm clicking like crazy right now. You do not see it, but I'm doing that. And I will also do some mouse moves. So here I will draw some circles, and then at this lower part of the screen I will do some zigzagging, and then I will do some zigzagging here as well. And here I will draw the infinite circle, and then I will click on the button. I will trigger the validation error text. I will click on these messages. I will also click around the CTA button, and then you can of course rewind this video and see what I was doing to make sure that then the heat map actually shows the right picture. Now I will stay idle for 10 seconds because the session is going to be recorded as a drop-off. That's what we want. And I'm looking at the time right now, so the 10 seconds are gone. And let me open the DB again. I'll click on run, and we can see that the session is created. Personal information step, a desktop view. We can see the date and time, and we can see that it's recorded as abandoned, and the reason is idle. So I didn't do anything for 10 seconds. Now, if I return to the heat map, so I will scroll down to the respective section, I'll choose step, and I will pick personal information. And here we can choose whether it's going to be desktop or mobile. Mobile app is not supported yet, but we can edit if needed. For now, we have support for desktop and mobile views in the browser. Let's build the heat map for clicks. The time frame today. I will actually select drop off because our only session is a drop off session. Let me open the heat map, and we can see the dots. So these dots actually show where the customer clicked. I clicked here, here, and then here, and I was clicking on the sidebar a lot, so that's why this dot is bigger and the color is more intense. I clicked here also multiple times, and this dot shows that. So more clicks in this area than in this area. And I was clicking around the CTA button, so these clicks are captured, and I clicked on the Trustpilot area, and this click is also mapped. Let me return to dashboard and open another heat map, but this time for mouse moves. So it shows my mouse moves, the circles, then some zigzagging, then some diagonal zigzagging, the infinite circle. I also move the mouse here over the sidebar and over the CTA button. And the third heat map that we have is this one for scroll depth. I will open it, and we can see there is only one session and 100% of people saw it. So those who opened the screen, they saw this view by default, and it shows 100%. And now let me create another session. I will return to the landing page. I will go to search. I will select another backpack. This one here is pretty nice actually. And I will log in, and I will proceed, and I will get to personal information step again. So now I will click on some other elements. I will click on this breadcrumb multiple times, and I will pick the address, some pre-populated values here, similar to what we have with our personal information step. Then the phone number, I'll add the phone number, and I will be clicking on the name, but I will not be scrolling down the CTA. And I will do some movements here. I'll click on the chat icon, and now I will just stop for 10 seconds so that the session gets recorded as a drop-off. And now we're good, and I will return to DB. Let me query the DB again so we can see the second session, also for personal information, and it is recorded as a drop off and idle, so I didn't do anything for 10 seconds. And now let me return to dashboard again, and let me build the clicks heat map again. So now we can see more clicks, so they are shown and I was clicking here in the name and the drop down list. I entered the phone number, and it is reflected here. So these dots are actually smart. So yeah, this area was clicked the most, and this dot is big because of that. Let me open now the heat map for scroll depth. So we can see 2 sessions, and if I scroll down, we can see that only 50% scroll down to see this area here. And it makes sense because only during the first session I scroll down, but during the second session I didn't. So this area is not that color dense as this one here. One more comment: the customers drop off, so they can leave, they can close the browser tab, but if the same visitor returns within X amount of time, which is configurable as we agreed, so this session is going to be continued. So let me return to dashboard. We will be recording a lot of data, but then what do we do with the data? We can use it in 2 ways. The first one, all the data is going to live in our DB. It means our DB engineers can query the data and build all the reports. And the second way is CBA can build its own report, and it is going to use AI for that. Let me show you how it works. I will scroll down to this section here. The system is going to take all the sessions that we have and then analyze it and produce a structured report. And here in this part of the dashboard, we can see that the minimum number of sessions for a report to be built is, well, it's configurable, but then now it is set to 100. But well, it doesn't make sense to build a report for 1 or 2 sessions because this API call is expensive. It is calling the actual model. So for the test purposes, I created 22 sessions, and this temporary section of the dashboard is going to help us generate the report. So I will click on this button and the report will be built in the new browser tab. Let's see how it works. So the report is built actually very fast because it is cached. It was not building from scratch. The dashboard user is going to see a progress bar which tells them that the report has been built. It's going to take around 1 minute. And under the hood, it is calling Sonnet model of Claude right now for demo purposes, but in reality, I suggest that we use Opus 4.8 because that model is going to give us very robust and very good analysis and show a very good report. So we have here some sections. The intro and methodology, it shows what was done for this report and what this report is about. So it shows us the behavior at the personal information step. It summarizes the information that it has. Then the executive summary tells us that the report is built for 22 sessions. Out of those, only 4 where the customer completed the step, and the remaining ones are dropped off. And it shows this chart to show the distribution. It shows the exit reasons, and it starts sharing recommendations fast. So the first recommendation is here, then it proceeds to the steps analysis. It analyzes the heat maps, and we can open it to see a bigger picture. I will close it to return to the report. So the heat map for clicks, the heat map for scrolls, the heat map for mouse moves. It analyzes engagement, time to the first interaction, the friction, field abandonment, validation errors, rage clicks, etc. The drop-off patterns, for example, the last actions by the customer right before they triggered a drop-off event. The analysis of completers versus drop-offs, what customers who complete the step do and what those who drop off do, and how these two groups compare against each other. And last but not least, the conclusions. So it produces some data-driven observations and gives hypothesis, recommendations. I think this completes the demo of the product itself. Before we conclude, I just want to answer a question that you potentially might have. If you're wondering if this is just another vibe-coded product out there, please consider the following things. First of all, as I mentioned earlier, it was built by combining the power of both Claude Code and Codex. And these two best on the market models, they actually did not compete against each other. They were complementing, and they were actually quite polite to each other, and that's what surprised me. The second thing is that CBA has a suite of around 300 unit tests and around 90 automation tests. And no code is pushed to production till all those tests are green. Thirdly, CBA has a set of agents. So the agents help me maintain the documentation, help me drive the milestones, so that we do not close a milestone before a certain checklist is covered, that the documents are updated, etc. So all that is done by the agents. Without the agents, it would not have been possible to build this. Next, the documentation is very detailed and robust. Opus 4.8, the strongest model of Claude, iterated our documentation to 8.4 out of 10, so it's pretty high. Also, it was built with a product manager's mindset. I stayed focused on the problems that CBA should be solving, and it actually took me a couple of months of exploring, experimenting, trial and error before I figure out the best rails to progress from milestone to milestone, keep the documentation updated, have the right agents in place, etc. So to conclude, I truly believe CBA can help us solve a real problem with tracking customers' behavior. It is a fully functional product. It is well documented. It has solid test coverage, and I have a very detailed integration plan, and it can start bringing value very fast. And I think this completes the demo. And I hope you agree with me that this product can be helpful. In case of any questions, please let me know. Thank you for watching.